So normally we would say we don't actually have any enemies here, but we were having just to come from where we were in the Gita. So first, we must Gita Dhyanam, and then we'll pick up. Gita Dhyanam should be in the front. I didn't print those copies out yet, so I'll be right after satsang, but everyone should have one in the Kirtan book. If not, we have some. Okay. And for those joining us online, and even if you are watching this on delay, if you're joining us and you don't have a Kirtan book, please say so, because we have a PDF of it that you're more than welcome to have. And also this Gita Dhyanam that we repeat, we have printed. I'm happy to share. Okay. Om. Om. O Bhagavad Gita, by which Arjuna was illumined by Lord Krishna himself, and which was composed of 18 chapters within the Mahabharata by the ancient sage Vyasa. O Divine Mother, destroyer of rebirth, who showers the nectar of oneness on us. O Bhagavad Gita, my affectionate mother, on thee I meditate. All the Upanishads are the cows, the milker is the cowherd boy Krishna, Arjuna is the calf, people of purified intellect are the drinkers, and the milk is the supreme nectar of the Gita. My salutations to the Lord, who is the source of supreme bliss, whose grace makes the mute eloquent and the crippled cross mountains. Hari Om Tat Sat. That statement of grace that we read every morning is very important. What we want requires grace to have it. So we can say it's inside. It also requires purushartha, effort. And when we ask the difference, we learn, to be able to have self-effort is grace. Otherwise, we would just be stuck here, Groundhog Day, and nothing would change inside either. We just go through the motions every day, do the same thing, but not be able to find the goal. So it's grace that we have the ability to find the goal. It's grace that we're able to effort towards it. And the nature of the goal itself is grace. So there is a relationship between self-effort and grace. To be able to achieve salvation, to be able to strive for it is grace. So, okay, so in our lovely discussion yesterday, coming back to that, so we did say something is our enemy, and what is that?
Anger.
And why is that?
Because it ruins your intellectual capacity or your discrimination.
Ruins your discrimination. And thank God we all have opportunities with this to relate to. So we can see the veracity of the teaching, can't we? Thank you, Lord, for these opportunities. Okay. So we continue from here then. And we have, if we can come back to this place, this life, it seems like there isn't any black and white here. It seems like it's all gray. And it seems we ruminate so much about the choices that we have in front of us, right? What job should I take? Where should I live? Who should I be with? Right? What should I do with myself? All of these choices, it seems like we take so much time with them and there's not clarity in them, right? But we hit on something yesterday that is absolutely black and white if we can see it. And it's related to the inner world, isn't it? That there is that which leads towards peace, and there is that which leads towards discord, and that's actually black and white. Right? And specifically, we're talking about the relationship with the sense objects. So if we've created or allowed an environment where the sense objects are controlling us or are over us, then that way lies discord only, and only suffering, right? But that if we take control of our relationship with the sense objects and assert ourselves over the sense objects, then that way lies peace. Correct? So, and we saw that yesterday, and we'll come back to the same point. We saw that yesterday, and we see that it's actually black and white. That there are two paths here. And and if we really look, we see, it should be actually an easy choice between the two, if we're aware and awake. And if the intellect is pure, what does that mean for the intellect to be pure? That means if I've withdrawn the intellect, this power of discernment, from being controlled by one sense object or another. But I will have to have withdrawn it from that, because coming into this birth, it will still have some masters other than the light. Something to attain, something to do, and look, every one of us has some preferences, so there's nothing wrong with that. The issue is when we give our life to those preferences. The issue is when we give our light to those preferences. And then we make this life a chasing after something that doesn't exist in what we imagine it to exist in. So, and of course in this state, and for most of us, of course, it'll be very, very hard to see this, impossible to see this really, because we'll be caught up in it, right? We get caught up in it.
You may not see it, but you recognize that you're caught up in something.
Yeah.
As everyone is.
Yeah. And we may not recognize that we're caught up for a long, long time. And then, of course, and we've all had this experience, then finding ourselves caught up in it, we will typically reject that, but not reject the process or not address the process and get caught up in something else. So we take that same approach to something else. So it's this point that in this part of Bhagavad Gita that Lord Krishna is dealing with. And there's such clarity if we can really grasp it. And then if we can live by it, this is the beginning of this salvation.
But every small decision is made around the comfort of the senses. I wear this clothes because it's comfortable. I shave because it's comfortable. Every little thing you do, isn't that all based on sense comforts?
For the one who's free, absolutely not. It's done because it needs to be done. And they're not even seeing themselves as the doer of it.
So you do it because it needs to be done, not because it's the comfort of the
Not
senses.
because it feels good, and you don't avoid it because it feels bad. That's wisdom. You would do what needs to be done. That's wisdom, right? When I inject my preference into it, and now I do it because I like it, and I don't do it because I don't like it, then is there peace in that? This is the discussion. There's not.
But why do I wash my hair?
Because it needs to be washed.
Why?
Well, you have a role to play, don't you? So what if you don't wash your hair? How well can you play the role? Do you really care whether you play the role well or not? Why would you want to play the role well? If you say it's because of money, then I'm sorry, but you're not going to find any comfort in it. If you can get to the point where you say, I play the role because it's beneficial to play the role, and for God's sakes, I have to do something. And by the way, it's an opportunity for me to practice what I believe in. So if I believe in love, or I believe in serving the Lord, or I believe in the ability to live a beneficial life and to be beneficial to others, then if I believe that, if I'm wanting to live in a place of virtue, for example, and I'm wanting to be beneficial, most of us will say, I want the world to be better. But of course, if we want the world to be better, then we have to get to a place where we're contributing something instead of just telling everybody else what to do. And by the way, if the metric is peace of mind, and that's the discussion earlier, if the metric is peace of mind, what we come to realize is even for us as an individual to be happy, the one robber for us is anger.
Sure.
That's the one robber of the happiness. So if you recognize that, if we recognize that, then we say, okay, then I need to live a life where I don't become angry. So even if you were living a life for yourself and in a self-centered way, you would get to the same point. If we're really alert and aware and using this power of discernment, this power of discrimination, then we'd say, okay, how can I not be angry?
Why isn't lust included, or greed, or craving?
Well, they're flavors of the same.
Okay.
They're all related to craving, personal desire. Okay, let's just there are some beautiful sutras here. Let's listen to them, and then we continue this discussion and see if we can see how it's related, and see if there's some clarity that comes in terms of how we can approach. So now he's comparing and contrasting. That's what he's been doing. That led us to the Sutra 63. Anger confuses the thinking process, which in turn disturbs memory. When memory fails, reasoning is ruined, and when reason is gone, one is lost. And I think where we were yesterday, we all understood this, and we've all seen it practically in our lives. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now he continues. Compare and contrast. But the yogi who has disciplined the mind and has control of the senses can move about amidst sense objects free of attraction and aversion. So why? Settling more deeply into tranquility. In that tranquility, all sorrows fall away, because the discerning intellect of a calm mind is soon secure in equilibrium. There is neither wisdom nor meditation in an always changing mind. Without a meditative, one-pointed mind, there is no peace. And without peace of mind, how can anyone be happy? So this is Lord Krishna asking this question. Without peace of mind, how can anyone be happy? So he's even saying, for your own self-interest, don't you need peace of mind? How could you possibly be happy if you don't have peace of mind? Right? Can we relate to that? Yeah. So we had some idea of what everybody else had to do in order for us to have peace of mind. We had some idea of what we needed to have in order to have peace of mind. I need to have a little island of my own, surrounded in the Pacific Ocean, and I need girls or guys at my beck and call, and I need Long Island iced tea every afternoon at 2 p.m., and so we all have this imaginary picture that we've developed about what will give us happiness, and peace of mind will be there. Then I'll be satisfied. In our fairy tale that we tell ourselves, every one of us have a goal of being satisfied. Right? Everybody wants satisfaction. Who wants to keep being disappointed all the time?
No, I want an island. That's
Oh my God.
You put the vritti there.
Yeah.
I was stuck in my own little small desire.
Yeah, the thing is, there's not a difference between the little ones and the big ones. Except the big ones are harder to get. Littler ones, if you go for the littler ones, I suppose you can learn quicker.
Yeah,
But then the mosquitoes will make you angry, and the sand never gets out of your eyes. And...
Well, that's what happens. And those are the teachers.
You break a leg and nobody's there.
Right. Now, you find yourself in Nepal and
Run out of money.
run out of money.
Catch malaria,
Yeah.
dysentery.
Pirates on their way.
Yeah, you get robbed.
Pirates come and steal your
Oh,
life.
thank God for those visions.
It's about the only thing that kept me.
It needed to be something practical that would happen, so you were given some vision.
There was grace.
Otherwise, then we get to experience it in real time. So, Brett, does that make sense? So there's a basic fallacy that we're operating under, which is when other people or the situations which are not actually in our control, when they are aligned in a beneficial way, whatever our imagination is, then I'll have peace of mind. Then I'll be satisfied. Do you remember, I don't know if anybody ever had this dream. So I would work hard, work hard, work hard. My job was 24/7. And it was really a job because I was doing it all for myself, from my perspective, family, and to be satisfied. And I had a picture that I would retire and be satisfied. And I had a whole developed picture of what that satisfied life would look like. I'd be somewhere in the southeast with a little boat and on a river, and I'd play golf, as long as the body allowed, and like that. And I would have my idyllic friends. And then, of course, I would talk with the people that I work with, and they would all have visions that were similar in some way. And every one of us deluding ourselves into this notion that then we'll be satisfied. But if you look at it, what you see is what you're doing in order to be satisfied. Whatever it is, if it's worldly activity, you're doing it in order to be satisfied. Swami Premananda used to say, whatever we do in order to stop doing it. Why do you eat? Why do you eat?
To be satisfied.
To be satisfied, to be sated. Why do you sleep? To be able to wake up. Why do you do a job? In order to be done with it. Isn't it so? So, and then we'll have some imaginary way of relating to what it looks like to be done with it.
With all of them.
Yeah, to be done with it. And in this worldly life, the being done with it, again, it'll be a place where I'm satisfied, where I'm sated. Where I did everything I needed to do, I got everything that I needed, and now I'm going to be happy ever after. So we are living for the fairy tale. We are living to be happy ever after. There's nothing wrong with it. The only issue is peace of mind doesn't lie there. As long as we're beholden to the sense objects, then you're never going to get satisfaction from them. So as long as someone needs to say a certain thing in order for you to be happy, you could never be happy because you couldn't have peace of mind. This is the discussion. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So do we give up the things that don't contribute to our duty? The ones that are done for the sense of pleasure, seemingly?
Well, you wouldn't.
As subtle as they might
Here's the thing, really, because, and Swami has a lot of experience with this to speak from, but ask yourself the question, does my desire for it cause me to reflect on or consider it when I don't have it at all? And if the answer to that is yes, then that's showing you that it is causing disturbance in your mind. So there's nothing wrong with enjoying something. But if you make peace of mind the goal, understanding that happiness and peace of mind are one and the same. And if you make peace of mind the goal, then you start looking at the mental state and you say, what's contributing to peace of mind? What detracts from peace of mind? So if I like chocolate, for example, well, I can't have chocolate all the time, correct? So I'm going to become 700 pounds. If I have chocolate all the time and look at all the stomach disease and everything else, there's no happiness, there's no peace of mind, correct?
Yeah.
I can't have it all the time. So when I don't have it, does it enter my thoughts?
Yes.
And if it does, then I have to root it out. Because if I don't root it out, there's no peace of mind. And if I don't root it out, there's no peace of mind and there's no happiness. Now, there is a state of desirelessness. And then when that chocolate comes, it is enjoyed so much. It comes unasked for, without you craving after it, without you having to do something in order to get it. And it does, by the way. I've observed this. In fact, when we turn the life around, if we're really living to give instead of to get, and we're doing it, then everybody loves us. And so much shows up unasked for. And if there's no craving for it, it can be truly enjoyed. If there's no relationship with it where I have to be bothered by thoughts about it when it's not in front of me. So, but if I have to think about it when I don't have it, then there's no peace of mind. Right? That's how we can tell. That's how we can tell. That's how we can tell if there's craving there. And typically what we'll find is, yes, of course, and we'll justify, ego will justify it by saying, but everybody's like this. No. No. That's what Lord Krishna is teaching about here. No, that's not true. That's not true. The freed one, the one who's happy, doesn't have a mind working like that. They've controlled the mind, they've disciplined the mind, they've taught it how it works here. Right? They've established peace as the goal, and then looked at the whole process of living. We had the example yesterday of the French bakery, and I mean, if we really saw the way it worked, and we wanted to be able to enjoy a croissant, then we would have stopped that mental process very early on, right at the time when we looked at that building and had an interest in it. We would have stopped it. And how do you do that? You discipline the mind. You say, no, we don't do that. In a way, it's so simple. It's so simple. Everything that gets done here gets done as a result of intent. You set an intent. We've done this. If everyone could just lift your hand and look at the hand, turn it over, look at it. How did you do that?
Okay.
He says the truth. You didn't do it. You just set an intent, and then the power of the universe, Krishna, the Absolute Mother, did it. You don't know how. All you had to do was set your intent. Correct? How do you get up in the morning, Kartikeya? It's hard, I know. How do you get up in the morning?
I set that little light in my brain that goes off, ding, and then I jump out.
Yeah, you tell yourself. So you tell yourself, you set your intent, isn't that so?
Yeah, it's an intent.
Because there's some power that you're working against. There's some feeling, I don't want to.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
But you, conscious mind, you set the intent, no, I'm going to get up anyway, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then what happens?
You're-
And if you don't have that intent, what happens? Swami's over yelling at you. Come on, you have to be at satsang in the morning. Everything here happens according to intent. This is why Lord Krishna is speaking with us. I mean, if we didn't have this power, Why bother? So everything's done with intent. So you set your intent. So if you say to yourself, I can't live like this, and then it'll help a lot if you say, Dear Lord, help me. The more we're drawing on Krishna, the more we're drawing on the highest, the more we're relating to the highest, the more it gets done. And she is the only doer anyway. But somehow we have this power of intent, which is a mysterious power, purushartha, self-effort. We have the ability to effort. We have the ability to choose. This is this mysterious intellect. And we can say to ourselves, no, I will not live like this. I will not let the sense objects control me. I will not. I see it. I cannot live in that place of anger. Dear Lord, please help. But I will not. I must not. That's just an intent. But then you look at the inner environment and how the inner environment begins to change. It begins to change if you hold on to that intent, because you're awareness. You are awareness. You see what's happening. You get to see. The Guru is right there with you, because the Guru, in the form of your conscience, pings you when you do what you told yourself you wouldn't do. Mm-hmm. Right? You set that intent, and now you'll have help in the form of the conscience, as long as you stay firm in it. These are all divine powers. Do you see that? Mm-hmm. This is all Krishna working within. How in the world could you have this power? Did you make it? Did you create it? The power of intent is mysterious. But through it, you can change this inner. And by changing the inner, everything outside changes as well. So here, we'll just read a few more and then close for the morning. But this is the point being made here. He's encouraging us to see it, to see this path, the twofold, and to choose that higher path. So there is neither wisdom nor meditation in an always changing mind. Without a meditative, one-pointed mind, there is no peace. And without peace of mind, how can anyone be happy? Like a ship tossed helplessly about by a gale, a mind subject to the roving senses loses all discrimination. When the senses are completely withdrawn from the sense objects, Arjuna, then the mind is poised perfectly. What seems night to others is the state of awakening for one with a mind thus disciplined. And what appears day to others is night to the sage who knows the self. So most of us would say, pursue, go for it, have those things that are pleasant, avoid those things that are painful. Most of us would say that. But when we really use our discernment, we see, no, I've done enough of that now. And because now I've seen that doesn't lead to happiness. That peace of mind and happiness are the same. So it's a statement of wisdom, but also, you see, most of us in the world in this time, we wouldn't say this, but maybe each of us would. Maybe we would see it. So, and if we say we see it, and if we really believe in it and have faith in it and have seen experience with it, then we're going to be called a sage in this sloka. And if it's steady, a sage of steady wisdom. In other words, we don't forget. We don't forget what's important. We don't forget how we want to live the life and what is the purpose of the life in it. And in fact, here there will be the idea, which will get expressed so much. You know, if we get involved in these conversations with our friends and such, without the envelope, without the proper background, we just get into an argument. Because what we'll hear is, but then you're sacrificing all the joys of life. That's just a misunderstanding. Because the worldly joys come with the price. They always have a hangover. Whatever it is, it always has a hangover. If you go into a dalliance with the girl that you really like, with the guy that you really like, and your husband and wife find out about it, there's a hangover. Right? And it's a big hangover, by the way. Anything if you go ahead and have chocolate whenever you think about it, there's a hangover. If you go ahead and have that drink every time you want that drink, there's a hangover. Right? You can think about any of the pleasures that there will be some motivation towards in the sense objects. And if we're really sense-driven and we walk around, and whatever it is we want, we're always in it. So I had my list, cars, and it was a very long list. I don't need to go through it all. It's a very long list. And so what was the day-to-day life like? Always on the lookout. And then imagining what it would be like to have it. And then if it looks really good, then living to get it. And in the same way, something that's painful. And you see, there's no peace of mind. Oh.
Can I try again?
Go for it.
And I apologize for beleaguering this point.
No.
I'm just struggling a little bit.
No, it's good.
Why are we all sitting on cushions now, or chairs? Isn't that done because of the sense objects that makes us more comfortable? And then taking another step back, as I look at my life, isn't everything done as a decision to be comfortable in those sense objects? Like, I want to shave because that's going to feel a little bit better. But even if I did shave, I could still do my duty. It's just a decision I make to be comfortable. And isn't that happening a million times?
No.
No?
No. You're sitting on these cushions right now so that you can stay awake.
Compared to the floor?
Yeah, so that you can stay awake. That's why.
But what if I was just sitting like this? This would be less comfortable.
Because you will lose yourself very quickly to all the things that are happening in the body. But the purpose of it is for you to stay awake. It's not for you to be comfortable. Otherwise, we would just run a spa. If it was about your comfort. Nothing here is about your comfort. Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing. Actually, nothing in the world is for your comfort. But we misappropriate it. We misunderstand what it's for.
Mm-hmm.
This is ego stuff. We misunderstand what it's for. We have an experience. You see, everyone wants nirvana. Everyone wants happiness forever. And in that environment, when we've turned the world around and we take the objects to be the source of happiness and the objects to be the source of discord. So object meaning all these people or anything else here. When we take those to be the goal, then we get it backwards. But nothing is here for our comfort. Everything is here for our learning, for our coming to know who we are. It's just a perspective. The ego would say, no, everything is here for my comfort, and some of it's comfortable and some of it's not, and that's fine. But then look at the mental state and see if there's peace of mind there. And you'll find there isn't. And then we eventually learn peace of mind and happiness are the same. If I want to be happy, this is a statement of discernment. If I want to be happy, there's no happiness if I'm thrown about by the objects, meaning if I'm doing for my comfort, there's no peace of mind. Does that make sense? If I do for my comfort, there's no peace of mind. Mm-hmm. So at some point we have the ability to choose, then I'm not doing for my comfort. And does that mean that we stop doing? No, it doesn't. You would still want to do what is proper and what is beneficial. Mm. And maybe for your job, you don't need to shave. I don't know. For sannyasa, 2 options are given in the ancient texts. 2 options are given. Either dreadlocks, and this hair couldn't do that. Or shaved head. And so Swamiji said, this is the tradition. I said, well, I have to do one or the other, so I'll shave my head. So why do I shave my head? Because it's the role I'm playing.
We'd love to see.
You see, and people will think, yeah, I know. People will think everything, but we won't know. I mean, you won't know if you're looking at the object. You won't have a clue. Right? I wear orange. People think I like orange. Give me a break. I like everything. I'd be fine if it were green. So what? but there's a duty and there's a standard according to the duty. Right? And but it's also not a drudgery. I don't have some association with it that says, my God, it's a pain in the ass to wear orange. No, it's not. I mean, we have to do something here. And if I'm doing it for the Lord, nothing's a pain in the ass. Whatever you wish, dear Lord, it's fine. So, but what's the prize? The prize is peace of mind. And where there's peace of mind, there's happiness. They're one and the same. So you can go on thinking I do things for my pleasure. It's fine. But it's better to see what's really happening and look in your own mind and look and see. And typically we would be tossed about by everything, so we might not know that there's another way. But that's the purpose of satsang, sangha, the teachings, is to help us to see, there is another way, and then to touch our own examples. And we all have these moments in life where there's such joy in the life. And one of the great teachers is to look and see the state of the mind then. And you'll always see peace. You'll always see a stable mind that's not wanting something else. Right? And that's the clue. That's one of the great teachers right there. That's the clue. And that's a confirmation for us. Yeah, peace of mind is happiness.
Would you say, though, that excessive comfort and excessive discomfort would get in the way of your sadhana or your duty? That it's important to have some level of comfort in the beginning, and as you progress, you can get more comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah, but I'll relate it back to the point about waking up. And I would say if you're too uncomfortable and therefore dealing with all of the mental stresses and strains related to that, that's not going to support your waking up. So I'm saying the same thing as you. But I'm not saying you do it for your comfort. You do it in order to wake up, in order to submit yourself, in order to be awake in the class, in order to participate in what's important, in order to do your duty. And so with each of these bodies, they'll be different. So yes, absolutely. But you wouldn't do it for your comfort. You would do it so that you don't have excessive discomfort. If you have excessive discomfort, then you can't do what you presented yourself to do. So, I think we say the same in that way. But the goal wouldn't necessarily want to be your personal comfort. Because as soon as we fall back into that, I want to be comfortable. If I really understood what comfort is, then I would say, then I want peace of mind. Right? Then I want to be with the Lord full stop all the time. There's only one comforter.
I want to be comfortable with whatever comes, no matter what.
Yeah, that's it. Then that's saying, then I want to be a yogi. I want to be a devotee. I want to be with the Lord, with the highest. I want to be undisturbed by anything that happens here. That's what the greatest comfort would look like. So, and that will help us with our goal as well. And it's a big goal, but this is what we're being guided to and supported with. Okay, we should close. Page 174, the final prayers. Thank you, Swamiji. This is all for you. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvai Rukmiva Bandhanam Mrityoi Mukshiyamam Mritata Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvai Rukmiva Bandhanam Mrityoi Mukshiyamam Mritata Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Orvai Rukameva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyaman Om Sarvesham Swastir Bhavatu Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Shantir Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Makashit Dukhavan Bhave Asato ma sadgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mritor ma mritam gamaya. Om Purnamida Purnamidam Purnamudashyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. O adorable Lord of mercy and love, salutations and prostrations unto thee. Thou art omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscient. Thou art Satchidananda. Thou art existence, knowledge, and bliss absolute. Thou art the indweller of all beings. Grant us an understanding heart, equal vision, balanced mind, faith, devotion, and wisdom. Grant us inner spiritual strength to resist temptation and to control the mind. Free us from egoism, lust, anger, greed, hatred, and jealousy. Fill our hearts with divine virtues. Let us behold thee in all these names and forms. Let us serve thee in all these names and forms. Let us ever remember thee. Let us ever sing thy glories. Let thy name be ever on our lips. Let us abide in thee forever and ever. Ambolo Sakguru Shivananda Maharaj Ki Jai. Ambolo Sakguru Saraswati Maharaj Ki Jai. Okay, let's rise for Arati, page 210.